I don't know if Dad were still alive, if he would be very happy with me. Stick around and I'll explain why. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the channel. This is Joe with Ohio Woodburner. And about that tease at the beginning of the video, if Dad were still alive, he would not be happy with me. And you got to hear me out on this. I'm now starting I'm into my third year running a small firewood business. I'm self-employed. And Dad had this thing. You don't pay someone to do something for you that you can do yourself. And here's a guy. He grew up in the 40s and 50s. He was self-sufficient. He built his own house. He worked on his own cars, and that's just the way it was. And that has been my lifestyle too. Now, I don't have the skills to build my own house. Let's get that out of the way right now. The only thing I can do with wood is make firewood. He could build furniture. The guy could do everything. I don't have those skills. Firewood is something that I'm good at. But I always worked on my own cars too. Cars were like a hobby for me. I built my own ride when I was younger that I would take to the drag strips. It was a street car, but it was nothing spectacular, but it was cool. And I always just work on my own cars. I even put a heater core, in our Mercury Sable, and that required you taking the whole dashboard out. And I think that's a lot of times where someone would pay thousands to have that job done. I just did it myself. So I paid money to have my oil changed, and this is not a simple matter here for me. And you got to hear me out on this. Let me round. This would be a tag of shame for my dad. And I've changed the oil in this truck ever since I've had it. The motor oil, that synthetic stuff was it's going to be like $30, and then I still had to buy the filter. Well, Ford, the Ford dealer had a special for $49.99. Change the oil, rotate the tires. So that's what's that $10 worth to me? And so I took it one step farther. So I figure, I'm getting someone to change my oil. I paid someone to tune up my saw. And this is a big deal too. I tune my own saws. I like tuning them in the wood. I like to, I guess the term is tune them fat, where it's four-stroking before it hits the wood. And this is my first real saw. This is a 455 Rancher. What a great saw. And I've held on to this because it means a lot to me. This saw runs great. It starts easy, but when it warms up, it wouldn't idle. And I did everything to it to get it to idle, and it just wouldn't idle. So I was taking my truck to get the oil changed, and I just went ahead and dropped the saw off at the saw shop, and I paid them to tune it up. It turned out to be is a fuel line that was a little brittle, that may have been sucking air. And I haven't started it up yet, so we're going to see how this thing runs. But what a great saw. I'm going to do a video on my evolution in firewood, and this saw probably was one of my most important purchases. And it was also, that buyer's remorse, or that guilt feeling that you get when you buy something. I had the highest level of guilt of everything that I had purchased in just buying this saw. The Yappa, probably the lowest amount. And I think that's got to do with being self-employed, and just developing a system around your ability to be profitable. And that's where, like, when I had a job sitting in a cubicle, changing my oil was something you did so that you don't feel like you're sitting in a cubicle anymore. And now with being self-employed and selling firewood, I don't know, it's just, there are things now that I'm just not going to do. Like I had that hitch put on my truck. I paid someone to put on that hitch. That's something that I would just do. And I don't know, I'm new to being self-employed. Maybe you guys that have experienced the same thing that I am could explain it to me. But maybe it's like a time thing where I'm just valuing my time differently. I just know that, I used to work in Cleveland. I used to work in downtown Youngstown, and you're inside all day long. And then, it's like a release or something, like it's one of your hobbies is working on vehicles or just tinkering with wrenches, getting my saw to run right. And, so here we are. I am now, for the most part, outdoors, working in the wood yard. I'm industrious. I'm using muscle and working my body differently than what I used to, sitting in a chair. And now I'm paying someone to change my oil. What's up with that? So this is probably going to be our last sunny day for a while. The weatherman has not given us a good forecast that's coming up, and I need to get this pile down as low as I can. I want to get my machine out of here, and I'm going to turn this around. I need to get my machine out of here and put it on the pavement before I really get socked in here with the mud. And we had so much rain in the last couple days, and the ground's super soggy. And I got my Log-Rite Peavey. We're going to be rolling logs up to the machine with my Log-Rite Hookaroon. Guys, this is a great tool. If you don't have one, get one. Ask Santa Claus. Christmas is coming up. And I need to get all these logs moved. My plan is, because I don't have a way of moving these logs, is just to pull my machine forward and then just roll these right up to the machine. These are old willow stumps that are just laying here. I'm waiting for when the truck comes back in here, he can squeeze these with his grapple and bust them up for me. But the ground's super wet. Let me jump up on this pallet. Here's our rain. That's where I got stuck the other day. We got just standing water everywhere. And this is the last of that ash. That's going out later today. I have a delivery. I have scheduled my, here's more standing water. Just mud everywhere. This is, I should have come up with a muck boot. The Ohio Woodburner muck boot, maybe. And let me move over here. This pile, I got some bigger logs in here, and I'm probably going to be bucking these with my saw. I'll probably run my 455 today. See how it runs. And get these in the rounds, and then I'll hit them with the super splitter. And I'll wish that Santa Claus brings me a commercial splitter of some sort. That's still in the makings too. But this rancher, I gotta tell you what, guys, I love chainsaws. And I have that Dolmar. This thing is nowhere near the power of the Dolmar. It's got nowhere near the throttle response of that 346 XP, but I just love this saw. There's something about the spacing on the handles and the angle of that top handle. And this was really my first real saw. I had those two Walmart Poulins before, no anti-vibe, 12-inch. And man, the power that this thing had was just unbelievable compared to those two. And then, when I got the Dolmar, it was that same spread in performance between the Dolmar and this. But this is a nice saw. I really like running it. If you haven't noticed, you haven't seen me running a saw yet on the channel either. And that's probably because I ain't no dummy. I've been around, and I see what happens to guys that run chainsaws on YouTube. And I follow safety. I wear chaps. I got steel toes, but there's always someone that's going to be critiquing and all. So, and I appreciate everyone looking out for me, but maybe someday I'll get the courage to run a saw. Maybe. All right. So that's what we got going on here today, guys. I got 2 deliveries. I got one that's going out. Well, I got one that's going out this evening, but I have to get the truck reloaded because one's going out tomorrow morning, and that has to go out early because we're going to be losing our dry weather. It's supposed to start raining tomorrow morning. I want to also wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving this week. We have a large group of subscribers from Europe, in Ireland. My good friend Big Rodders, how you doing, bud? And Australia, and Germany, and France, and the UK, Croatia, Estonia, Finland, and everywhere in between. Guys, I really am thankful for all of you and the support that you've had for the channel, and you make me want to do even better in bringing you guys videos that you find entertaining, maybe educational, or maybe frustrating. All right, so there you go. I want to thank you all. If you haven't hit the like button, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We post videos every Wednesday and Sunday. All right, I hope that everyone has a great day.